Hello and welcome to another 5 minute first impressions. I'm Anthony Malik and this is reviewer.website reviewing alhouse.com. So it's taking a little bit to connect here. And there was a very quick realignment of the images there, which is almost unnoticeable, but for somebody that is looking for it, it becomes quite obvious. But overall, it's not a big deal. I would say that's probably just a JavaScript thing happening on load as opposed to after the load and when everything's complete. So let's have a look here. I personally know what Alhouse do, but if I didn't, there's no description straight away above the fold without me actually going looking for it. So I see the logo here, which is beautiful and minimal. I'm a big fan of minimal design. But there's no description of what Alhouse are, what they do. I see images here, and there's a lot of words to draw my attention to, but there's nothing in particular describing Alhouse. I really like this menu up here at the top. It's making great use of white space. There's a very subtle color change on the mouse over here, which I think could be a little bit more obvious. It's almost too subtle that I'm not too sure if it's happening, and it would be nice to have that a little bit more obvious that these are clickable, although obviously they are because they're the menu up here. But let's move on. We have the content here, and a little animation for the header there is very nice. Your logo here seems to have this margin, doesn't quite match up with this margin down here, and also the left of this image isn't perfectly aligned with the left here, which is such a small thing, but I'd make it, because it's like so close, I'd either make it align perfectly or align a lot less, or indent a lot more, I suppose. But overall it's quite nice. I'm not a big fan of this black box. It looks like it's following my mouse around here. It reminds me almost of a Flash website, and then as I go a little bit faster, it looks a bit broken. So it's kind of drawing the attention in the wrong area. Wouldn't be a big fan of it. Now, what I do personally, I'd possibly have the images animate slightly, possibly have them zoom in slightly, and then maybe have the text appear. Either have the text always there because there's already a lot of text here, or have the text appear from the bottom. Alright, let's move on a little bit. So we have a carousel moving along here with customer feedback. There's a lot of literature about carousels at the moment, and the downfalls of them, and you're kind of hiding your contact information at the end of the carousel, which doesn't really make sense for somebody that you're not too sure if they're going to hang around to look at the rest of your site. As we so one of the criticisms of carousels essentially is that they hide information, and that's what you're doing here. So moving on, we have what do you need, not so much what we can do for you, I suppose. Interesting approach. We have the icons are nice and they match the design very well, but they're kind of unrelated to your content a little bit, and they don't add a huge amount to the copy. Your copy headers are very nice, web ready content for site launch, website management and maintenance, to refine, redevelop existing web content, polish marketing material and corporate documentation. That's good. The copy underneath is a little bit long, though. Personally, I wouldn't read it. It's just a little bit long. I should be able to figure this out from the headers. There is a kind of axiom at the moment in web design that you keep your copy no smaller than 12 to 14 point. This looks right on the edge of that. I'd say it's possibly 14 point. And the other thing is you don't have your line length going beyond 2.5 alphabets, or your line height should be at least 2.5 EM. So this looks very close to that. I'd possibly make your font a lot bigger here just to draw a little bit more attention to it, and I'd reduce the copy length. As we go down here, the overall design becomes very grey, with just this little minty green color highlight going on. There's a lot of space for a little bit more attention grabbing colors here if you want to draw the user's attention to a particular headline. Obviously don't overdo it, it's very easy to overdo it, but a subtle use of color here could be very useful. The other thing that could be useful here as well actually is a little bit of movement. You're already using JavaScript obviously to manage this here, the animation here. I would possibly also keep, maybe think about using a subtle movement as we, let's say, as we scroll down here. These could fade in or move in very subtly just to grab the attention to the headlines. Let's move on a little. We have the logos of the companies you've worked with, and as I said, we're moving down the colors here. It's all just a touch green and black and grey, which seems kind of emotionless at this point. You could even add the color here with the colors of your these logos here. You could even fade it out a little bit just to make it a little bit less obvious, but a touch of color could go a long way, add a little bit of emotion to this part of the website. Your footer is very nice. It's small, simple, doesn't need to be any more than that. You've got your copyright, which is a year off, phone number and email, going to a mail to. Not a big fan of mail to myself. I think if somebody wants to email you, they'll copy and paste the address into their preferred mail client, but it serves a purpose. It's good. We'll move across to the right. We have your sole Twitter icon, and the mouse over goes to the Twitter blue, which I think is very nice. It's a little bit small though. One error that a lot of web designers make is they put their social icons right at the top, and it takes up a lot of space and just kind of breaks the design. And I think it's very good to put your social icons at the bottom. People are going to go there to look for them if they really want to. So I think that's very good. Let's have a look here. Anything else? The one thing this page might be missing is a call to action. A lot of studies recently have shown that having a clear call to action above the fold drives conversions quite a lot. So people like you to tell them what to do, and I know for your particular services that might be sounds like it mightn't be suited, but you could utilize that in a way. For example, have a call to action like email us now to see what we can do for you, or see what we can do for you, or inquire, or something like that. And then you could have a mailing list. You could have it linked straight to a mailing list. Possibly as the user clicks on the call to action, it would scroll to a mailing list sign up form, something like that. It does tend to improve conversions and improve people's interaction with your business and your website. So that's about all I have for now. I hope this is useful. Thanks very much.